guess we can start then, because I don't want to sit here waiting for another person too much longer.
Somebody else should come.
They're all downstairs doing all like the freebies and shit. Like that's one thing I hate about the beginning
because
panels,
everybody's getting all the
everyone's
freebies.
doing
They're
down
excited
stuff.
about that. They don't want to.
And it's the first
And
day.
then everyone right now, even though they're not supposed to, are lined up for KCON rookies.
Oh, even the GA and I don't know why
They're
they're
not
still
supposed to.
even.
Yeah, they're
But
not
they
supposed to.
always say that, they never do
Platinum
anything,
people.
like I've been to like just even general concerts, they're like camping out for days and it's like, no camping out.
Well,
and it's like,
Staples is in charge of that one, so
Yeah.
typically sometimes Staples will kick them out.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you gotta go.
Hi.
And then, hello, welcome to the fire circle.
I'm more comfortable on the floor.
Yeah, you can do floor or chair, whatever you want.
Alright,
My friend is lost.
so welcome to our panel, the struggles of being a K-pop fan. I'm gonna talk about the positives and negatives and how to turn those negatives into positives. I got it.
I said it wrong earlier. I'm like, we're gonna turn those positives into negatives.
We're like, yeah. Yes, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Alright,
So you introduce yourself.
my name is Brianna. I've been a KCON panelist since 2014. I used to run the K-pop cosplay stuff, and then this year is actually our first year of not having anything. We're like, well, it's sad. We actually ended last year on a high, so I'm actually very proud of that. I'll take it for what I can.
Understandable.
So big.
And then I also run K-popaholic, which is kind of dead because I work very long hours during my work days, and then by the time I get home, I just want to sleep. So my own page is like dead. Yay! But hello.
And we're the Kpop Converters, and we have a YouTube channel. We've had for about 3.5 years, and we do that with my sister Megs, and I'm Sui, and also our friend Ren does some stuff on that channel with us. And what else?
We're the mom daughter team.
Yeah, mom daughter. So we're going to be doing the mom and kids panel later on this week too. But anything else about us that's interesting?
I always like to say that you're the one that got me into K-pop.
Yeah. Yeah. And our channel just has all kinds of things on it. We do reactions sometimes. We're kind of getting away from that a little bit, but still doing that, and compilations and vlogs and whatever we feel like it. Whatever we feel like it's on there. So we were gonna have everybody tell about themselves. Since it's so small, we can totally do that. So like, like how long have you been into K-pop, and
Where you're from.
yeah, where you from? Let's do that.
So we'll go in a circle and start. I'm the only lady.
So I've been into K-pop since 1917, because I know that date like.
We have the exact date too.
Okay, and I call it my K-pop birth date, because that was the day that BTS appeared on the AMAs, and so my daughter, like the build up to that was crazy. She's like, you have to watch this. So I watched that, got hooked literally like that second, got hooked on K-pop, and have been struggling with it ever since.
Struggling, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm based in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, so I'm kind of lucky in that tons of shows come through, so I get to see a lot of K-pop, but I also waste a lot of money.
It's not wasted.
Not wasted. It's not wasted for the memories.
So, I've been in K-pop since like, literally like 3 days after Luhan left EXO, which was in October of 2014. I got into it because I watched a lot of K-dramas, and I live in San Diego. It's been quite the journey. It's like my #1 group is BTS. That's like been like 4 years now. It's intense.
I've been into it since she started listening to it. I'm from
Are you
Santa
actually-
Barbara.
It's just a
Are you
little
actually
bit ride.
into it? Do you like it?
It's fine, it's fine.
I know.
He was kind of singing Los Santos too, so I think
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm happy, it makes her very happy.
Right.
I'm Janetta, Sharpie on Twitter.
Oh, you're Sharky.
That's me.
You didn't tell me.
It's me. My daughter used to listen to J-pop in high school, like 2005.
of 2006. So there was some K-pop also coming along with that. You know, back in the day we had dial-up internet and you just couldn't get much of anything. And then she goes to college and I kind of fell off, didn't pay attention to it. I think it was on cable 3 or so years ago, I don't even know. And found Vicky and Drama Fever. What was the one that's gone now? Drama Fever, you know, so kind of got into that, and she was like, yeah, I've been listening to more stuff again.
In K-pop, they're like, well, like, how do you understand it? And I was like, it's a community, and I'm like, how does Beyonce go to 90 countries and only sing in English? It's like, it's the same concept, like, it's just a language divide, and you have to overcome that. And I think that's like the biggest thing, or like, also like racist comments about like, oh, you like, it's like, completely different. They're like two separate entities, like when they're like, oh, it's just Chinese music or it's just that, and I'm just like, okay. But like I think that's like my biggest issue is like when people find out that I listen to K-pop and then they're like, well, how do you understand it? And I'm like, you look up fan translations, you look up like lyric translations, like there's an entire community that in like 6 minutes past like the music video being released, there's translations and theories and like gift sets and like everything. It's like an entire community of like millions of people. It's not just like me sitting in my room like staring at my phone. It's like an entire community. And like so since it's not mainstream, especially since like, you know, we live in America and it's like, but Western music's the best. And I'm like, it is pretty solid, but like there's also other music too. So like I think that's my biggest struggle is like people like just like
The
turning
judgment.
off
The
because of the
judgment
language.
from friends.
Yeah, like the
Friends in
judgment
the
or
other
like
world, right?
yeah, and it's just like, and so like in my like real life, it's like I don't have friends in the K-pop, like in the K-pop community. It's like just me on the phone. And
Do you tend to hide it from people? Do you guys all tend to hide it from people, or do you just talk all over my office? At first I didn't know, but you know, it was weird or whatever, and I was like telling everybody about it, and then they started saying weird things to me, like, you know, you're too old, you talk about that 20%,
Yeah.
and blah, 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 and now it made me nervous, and so now I tend to hide it.
Yeah.
And it makes me so mad that these people that are supposed to be my friends are making me hide something that I love so much. You know what I mean?
See, when it comes to like this situation, when everyone's like, well, why are you into it? Da, 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 da. It's like taking up your life. I'm like, you know what? At least it's better than drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I
then
just went to the twice in the NCT concerts, and like everybody was so optimistic and happy to be there. There was 0 fights at the concert, and like you see somebody dressed how they want to dress and look how they want to look, and you're just like, oh, I love that, where'd you get it? And they tell you immediately, no other concerts do you go? And
you're
you're
like buddies with everybody.
Yeah, that's how I feel about
and
like
it's
in the
so that's what I tell people when they're like, K or Korean, whatever. I'm like, no, no, no. And so I tell them that, and it's like, how can you not want to be involved with something that's so optimistic?
Well, the other thing I've started using is the sports fandom, because they understand that, and the parallels are very similar. Yeah, it's like, if people have biases in sports, right? They just don't follow that. People buy
They
shirts.
root for their favorites.
There's my
Right.
favorite
Yeah.
player.
I mean, it's really, really comparable, and everybody thinks that's so normal. And but then you get looked down on when you're doing it for Korean boy bands.
Well, I've already been through one embarrassing fandom in my life, quote embarrassing, because I was a pro wrestling fan for like 10 years.
Awesome.
And so when that was a similar experience, you tell people you're into,
And they're like,
that's so fake, or that's so stupid, or that's for kids. And so I kind of already went through that in my 20s. Now I'm in my 40s, I'm almost 50, so it's like, I don't care anymore. I don't care.
Like children are not buying all of those, they're not going to concerts, they're like using their parents' money to like go get these things, and now they're like,
Yeah.
like I work, I'm gonna spend my money.
I'm gonna do what makes me happy.
Yeah.
so that's the way you would fight this struggle, is just to be yourself and not worry about what people think, and just show it off, and who cares, right? Is that,
And if your
anybody else
friends-
have any input on that?
If your friends are shaming you, you need better friends.
It's so
I didn't have
frustrating.
a problem with my friends because I do a lot of Comic Cons and stuff, so they all kind of understand. I can draw the parallels to the
Right.
type stuff.
She said something.
It's hard because my family, every single one of them always says something. I don't even have to bring it up. Like, there was one time where they played a new song and I said, oh shoot, I've never heard of this song before. that's so crazy. And she said, that's because you only listen to bad music. I was like,
Wow.
I wasn't even saying anything. Why are you trying to drag me?
See, like, it's not even like K-pop, but like the whole bad music thing. That's very like subjective because at my work, it's literally a 1 to 10 female to male ratio, and all of them are into hip hop. So I'm stuck listening to hip hop, saying like 5 songs every like 2 hours, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'm like, I have nothing against it, but it's like, come on, play something else.
Yeah.
And I try to play classic, like actual classics, and they're like, this music sucks. I'm like, it's like your people wouldn't be here without those classics. Like, come on. So it's like that same exact moment. It's like every time someone says, "Oh well, you listen to sucky music," it's like, well, congrats. The sucky music to you is really good music to me.
And a lot of other people do.
Yeah, I said, it's not bad. It's just not your taste.
Yeah.
And she said, because it's not my taste, it is bad. And I was like, how entitled are you? And,
That's like
and-
saying to someone who likes broccoli to a person who doesn't like broccoli, it's like, it's like they don't like broccoli, that doesn't mean the broccoli's bad.
Yeah, and I almost had I have a 6-year-old niece who kind of started liking it, but like I didn't even tell her, I didn't even say, let's do this, let's do that. She was just like, can you listen to BTS? And like one day, like her mom, my sister was like, don't brainwash her, please. And I'm like,
What other struggles do you guys want to talk about? Do you guys want to talk about like fan wars maybe, or
So like
I've got toxic stories about too.
I'm really frustrated because I love Intuit. You guys remember them from last year?
Yeah.
I actually ran their fan club.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
And it's been over a year. They just put out Runaway, and for a year I'm like trying to figure out how I can get anything from them. And of course I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all of that, but it's just so frustrating because how do you, as an
so
American
you're
without
talking
friends-
about like a smaller group, which we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about tomorrow, getting
How to
stuff
get-
from them, right?
Yeah.
And that's a frustration.
So frustrating. I'm so glad that Runaway came back. Oh gosh, I just love that.
I love that song and stuff.
I relate to you because I'm a huge Impact fan who were also here last year. And like, my daughters and I have been in search of the first Impact CD for like ever. We were in
Lollipop?
Korea, nobody's got it.
Oh my
We're
god.
here, nobody's got it. Like, and I guess we could like buy it used on eBay with somebody charging like $60, but
Yeah.
you know.
I'm sorry, but Impact is not one of them. I had their albums, and I sold them for like $10.
So we
So
could get them cheaper than 60.
yeah, I can see if some of my friends might have some of them left, because I know like they've kind of fallen out of it, or they're just selling their CDs. I can see if there's some
Yeah.
floating around.
The one with, we have the recent one, the one from 2005. I want that one, the original one.
But that's what's so frustrating. If you're 2 people in Tucson that nobody else, they're just like, yes, we'll listen to your music. Okay, fine. You know, there's no way. Like, how do you figure this shit out? How do you figure out like? How do you know? I mean, aside from eBay, that's the kind of stuff that's really frustrating for me because I want to know how to like, you know, there's ways to pump them up more by doing daily things, but I don't know where to find those daily things. I got Live or whatever.
Their
Be-Live.
Dom Cafe is going to be your best bet of figuring out how to do all these things.
What is?
Their Dom Cafe, so
Oh,
it's
right,
their
right, right, yeah.
internet fan club,
Okay.
but like it's the official memberships stuff. It's like where people, if you're in Army or something, you get like the Army 1 package, Army 2 package, Army 3 package. I don't know what year we're on, but you go there, you sign up, and then they do like you can purchase this, and you get like your official membership card, and you get a whole thing of goodies. But through that website, you'll be able to. I can talk about more of this tomorrow, but you can go in and they'll have like, here's how to do this, here's how to do this. Oh, here's a new thing coming out. Here's how to do it.
Because it's gonna be in Korean, obviously.
Right.
It'll be like, okay, so here's it translated, here's a screenshot, and it shows you like how to do that stuff.
Yeah,
too.
it'll like all these cafes, like the moderators are very helpful of getting international fans to help them bring things up. Because I'm in the 2-4K fandom, or
yeah. That's rough
That's
right
a
now.
whole nother story that I'll talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we can get to tomorrow's discussion, totally.
But it also very helps, so when it comes to like the struggling of that, I can definitely go into it more tomorrow, but we'll be in this room actually.
Oh, what time?
Oh, 4:30.
4:30.
Which one the?
So what else do you guys wanna talk about that just makes you crazy?
So, I actually have some toxic stories.
Yeah, she does have some stories.
She knows these stories, cause she's actually part of the same fandom.
Oh.
So, like I said earlier, I'm from the K-pop cosplay community, and she is also part of the community as well. Back in, was it 2016?
Yeah, I think it was.
What year was BTS? It was 2015 or
2015, that was the
So
first year.
2015, my friends and I cosplayed the Dope Era, and then in 2016, KCON staff posted a photo of a couple of my friends from the era. I was actually working at my booth. That was like my last year I worked there, because now all the companies are really strict about like fan goods and stuff like that. So I'm like, good thing I got out of it, because a lot of like tables have been kicked out of KCON because they were selling things with like names on it and stuff. But 2016 they posted a photo and there was so much negativity. There was, you're trying to make yourself look Asian, you're being racist, why are you dressed up as a K-pop idol, you're trying to be someone you're not. It's like, that's the whole point of cosplay,
Right.
but none of us were trying to do yellow face, like we were just putting on makeup. There was no like changing our skin tones or trying to make our eyes look slanted, like it was just here, foundation, done.
Normal stuff.
Yeah, just normal makeup, just adding a little bit of like color or pop to it to get that overall look. And it was so bad that KCON actually took down the post and apologized to a couple of our friends, because like they had direct access to us, so they were able to talk to us directly, and they're like, we're so sorry that this happened. And ever since then, like anytime we had our cosplay panels and stuff, it would be there, but we would never get any promotion, nothing, because of all the negativity about it. It's like all we're doing is just dressing up and having fun. And it's sad because one of their main argument points of hating on K-pop cosplay is idols hate it. Wrong.
That's wrong.
I had, like 2015, my friends and I met Monsta X in Trespass. They absolutely loved it. Like Minhyuk screamed when he saw it. He's like, oh my god! And just like,
2017 was the year with Dick, yeah.
So she was dressed up. What was there that you guys were doing?
New and I were doing On and On, and then
Yeah.
Shelby and Madison were doing Error.
And Hyuk was like, someone asked Hyuk like what his favorite era was, and he was like, Memories, and like looked directly at them, and she's just like, so like idols really love it. And Wonho, after the after meeting Monsta X like that, actually talked about it in an interview. He was like, he really loved it, and like idols really like that kind of thing, because they also do it too, but no one will rag on idols for dressing up as like Beyonce or like Elvis or anything, because they're doing the exact same thing. So why is it any wrong? 'Cause, like, we had to pull back so much because of the toxic community, and like I was really glad that our last cosplay panel last year, like that was the final, I think that's the end. We had so many people, like our room was filled with people, and it was just so amazing. And I was like, oh my god, it's making me so happy. But just like all that toxic, it put us down for a good year or two.
They
Like,
made
we
that
were
on Instagram as well, and like was posting pictures of like, I think it was, I don't know if it was y'all or if it was other
Probably.
people, but it was like this whole
Oh yeah, they
Instagram.
actually made an Instagram page to talk about how bad we were.
Like, it was
Like they
y'all-
took my friend Alex, she's from Florida. They took her photos, posted them, and was like da 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 racist, da 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 da. And then take like another person's photos and da 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 racist, racist. And then they would like go to anyone who posted in the hashtag Kpop cosplay and like rag on him. It was so bad. It took so long to get them to stop.
Because I know that happened with me and New when we did the first year. I think we did On and On.
Yeah, it's just it gets so bad. And
Which is funny because there's like no difference between like K-pop inspired fashion and outfits.
Yeah, 'cause there's
versus
actually
the
a
cos- it's like
panel.
literally like this practically the same thing. Like you're being inspired by what these people are wearing, regardless if like it's the same. It's literally the same thing. Like taking, but it's like saying inspired versus like.
But this isn't inspired for ETs.
Yeah, so that's why it's like I think it's funny because it's like, but I also feel like cosplay in a general sense always gets a negative connotation because it's like I go to Anime Expo and stuff like that, and like obviously that's like huge when it comes to cosplaying because people cosplay as like their favorite characters and all that stuff. But like it's like a negative connotation because people think it's like, oh, it's costumes and like it's just like child. It's like, and then it links to that whole like either A, racist, or B, childish like aspect. It's like, aren't you too old to be dressing up? And it's like, aren't you too old to hate on things that like you don't care about? Like,
it's like if you don't like something, move on.
Well, that whole experience is so anti-K-pop, the positivity and, you know, the supporting each other, that's just sad.
It's like anti-culture in general. Like, how do you have time to hate things? I don't even have time to like the things I like, let alone like actively hate anything that I don't like. Like, I just literally like don't pay attention to it. That's the kind of like fan wars and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't have time for that. Like, I don't even have time to keep up with like watching videos, let alone like hate on something that like I don't even participate in, let alone like have time to even participate.
It's weird that they have time for that, huh?
Right. Yeah.
It's weird that
I'm like, do you like anything? Or are you just like a like your job is to hate?
Go to the go to the things you like and just stay there.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Stay there.
All right, what else? I have a whole list of things here, guys. A whole list.
I'll keep going.
Should we keep going to another thing?
Like
or
multi-fandom.
Huh?
Multi-fandom issues where people hate on you for that.
And fan wars. Yeah, we kind of touched on that. Does that make anybody crazy, or are you able to just ignore it and move on, or does it make you crazy?
I have to ignore it.
I have to.
The thing is, I mean, everything from what you've talked about, and I experienced that too. I'm also a game designer, so I thought about, oh, I could make a, you know, K-pop saves the world kind of role-playing game kind of thing. But I know I will get killed for that as a cultural appropriation. It's a good idea.
I want to play.
I know.
I'm a gamer, so
people would want to play it, and it's a great idea. But as far as me being labeled cultural appropriation and me being white, and me being old, you know, male presenting person, I don't want to step into that.
You and I need to team up because I had a game that I wanted to bring out.
I mean, I would love to. I'm just scared.
I just never got
I'm scared to
into
death.
coding to do it.
And I'm also scared to death of expressing my love for K-pop because of people who have strong opinions and hate things.
Yeah.
And so I sort of clam up and keep it to myself, and I hate doing that.
Until you come to KCON.
Until I get to KCON, right?
Or until I'm with her and then.
But yeah, I have to ignore, like, there's that weird demarcation line of I love the videos, I love the idol shows, I love to see the personality of these people who I love so much and have made me so happy. But the news gets really awful sometimes. Awful about, you know, rumors or whatever about dating or
yeah, I was going to mention the scandals and some of the
stuff.
recent ones that are happening. Like that has depressed me so bad.
It just kills me.
Yeah, because some of my favorites, and now people like you can't even mention their names. Like he must not be named, right? Because people will be like,
yeah, I have to ignore it.
Yeah,
it's the only option. Is so there's a line where I will not. I just won't read news or K-pop news generally.
Are you on Twitter?
No.
I am. She had to do for that.
Yeah, I mean, I have, but I don't usually. But
yeah, because that's where I find the most.
Things I hate.
They're like the most toxic on that. For me personally, I found it to be like the most toxic. Like,
used to be
on Twitter, and it's like I literally only have a Twitter because like I follow BTS's Twitter, and like they're my ultimate group. But it's like I hate engaging with the fandom on that. Like I mean, obviously you curate your own fandom experience, so it's like I tend to less. But it's like there's so many fan wars and like people like being like so negative about things, and it's like also like with multi-fandoms where it's like, oh, if you like more than one group, I literally like 500,000. I have like 3,000 songs on my phone. Like they're not all just BTS songs. They're not all just insert whatever songs. And I feel like it's like, I'm proud of every accomplishment that every group that I like does. yes, I'm a little prouder of BTS, but that's because they're like my ultimate group. But that doesn't mean that like what other groups
You're
are
not gonna
doing
cut
in
them
the
down
past.
and say that they don't do this and they don't do that. That's
Or
what,
like,
that's what makes
yeah.
me crazy, is when people are like, they don't, you know, they don't have brotherly love between them. I'm like, are you kidding
Are
me?
you kidding me? Like, they have to
don't
work together.
produce and write
They just
their own
don't put
music.
it out.
And you're
That-
like, are you kidding me?
That's,
You know?
and that's the biggest fucking
Oh yeah, so we heard that. They don't make an emotional connection with their fans, and we were like, wait, we couldn't ignore that one. We were like, stop right here, stop right here. And then we started talking a little bit, and then we actually
Well,
had,
we did it in like a nice way.
yeah, we actually had a really good conversation with somebody, and they're like, oh, thanks for, after kind of going back and forth, they were like, thanks for talking like normally about this.
I just
So-
don't have
I just think
patience.
that's, yeah. No,
I get so upset
Yeah.
that the reaction in me is you know, stress, and to react to people who say stuff like that would just end up being a feedback loop.
It's true, because we start shaking, and you start to feel the smoke come out your ears.
Yeah.
I think we were
I
just
do.
talking about this a couple days ago, because we kept seeing, I'm gonna say it, we kept seeing BTS all over the place, and I'm like, can we just calm down? Like, what about other groups? And I've actually asked a few armies about what makes BTS better, and all of them could just say, oh, well, they dance better, they sing better, I just really like them. And it's like,
That's true.
or I'm like, at the same point, yes, they're amazing dancers, they're amazing singers, they're amazing rappers, this, that, and the other, but so are all of these other groups, because that's why they're idols. They're able to sing, they're able to dance, they're able to rap, they're able to this. Doesn't make them better. They just happen to be the
Copying
popular,
as,
because
the
like,
perfect-
let's say,
Yeah,
because like, let's
exactly.
look back.
And then it's
Everything
like,
fell
and then
into
like
line
that
for
whole
them.
yeah, and I get that whole concept of like BTS paved the way, and it's like there are, and I get
No.
there are other groups. No, and there are other,
Like,
whole
that is, like,
concept,
my biggest pet
that
peeve.
whole concept of like they paved the way. And I was like, there are other groups. It's just that they so far have had like been like the
They
ones
have
that
the
had
biggest
like the longest
influence
longevity in like
the international,
yeah, in like.
but you have to look
But there are other groups
further
who do
back,
just as
where
do just as
other
well.
older groups have helped, because if it wasn't for those groups,
They wouldn't be able to
those
keep with
fans
that.
would
Yeah.
not have found EXO or BTS or Block B or anything. Like, if it wasn't for like Super Junior or Big Bang or any of the other Sexies or
like all that stuff.
all those other groups or individuals helped create the international thing, and BTS was like already popular, so then it was just like whoosh.
Yeah, like it just went
Because like it
exponential.
would have been EXO, but EXO started dying off and the members were leaving, so now it's just like, okay, here's BTS.
Yeah, and I totally get that. Like, and like, you know, like I'm still proud of like, I like Blackpink, and I always feel like BTS and Blackpink are like pit together, and I'm just like, one's a girl group and one's a boy group, and like if that everyone's doing what they need to do to like capitalize on a market, and it's like, I'm glad that they performed at Coachella, and it's like, I'm glad that Monsta X is having just as much success, and like GOT7, it's like all these groups put on great shows. Like I've seen GOT7 live in like their concert last year. I've seen Monsta X 3 times. I've seen EXO twice. I've actually seen BTS like 5 times. But it's like they all put on amazing shows, and they're all completely different.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to say like Monsta X put on like one of my favorite shows last year. Like I think because like I liked GOT7, but I wasn't like GOT7. Like they're just like a group I like a little lower down the list. But like Monsta X, it was like such an amazing show, and it's so high energy, and like I feel like maybe like the experience I was having at that concert was completely different. But like, and it reminded me of how I felt at a BTS concert, because I had EXO concerts. The fans are a little like pushy and they're crazy, and it was like a lot. But it's just like that whole aspect is like all these groups. It's like you don't have to just like one group, and if you do, great. Don't hate on other groups. You have no idea what they're
Or
doing,
compare
how they
them.
do, or it's just because like, oh, BTS produces their music, and I was like, well, like Joohyun and IM like are credited on like every song from Monsta X. Like
Stray Kids does all their own
yeah,
stuff.
they help produce, and it's like BTS isn't the only, like, you know, like the members aren't the only people producing their songs. Like obviously they have lead producers.
But the
Yeah.
people
They're
don't
just
know that because they're
credited
not fans
with
of that group. That's what's
being
crazy.
in that whole situation.
Yeah.
And a lot of groups do produce because companies are also seeing like that helps fans connect more, because it makes it seem more personal. Like they're writing their songs and they're putting their voice into it versus like it's a song written by someone else and like things like
Yeah.
that. And even if other members are putting it through, but that's also like part of like the entertainment company culture too. It's like
Yeah.
like with that, it's like, I think that's probably one of the reasons why I kind of liked EXO a little less, is because I just felt like their songs were a little cookie cutter, like, and then slowly they started producing.
No, I'm just gonna say,
yeah.
no, that's the thing about SM groups in general.
Yeah.
Is like every big company, you know exactly, you don't even have to know the group, you know exactly what company that's come from.
Yeah.
Cause they have that style.
They have a specific style.
You can throw
And,
on
like, YG, and, like, they'll have their
you can throw
styles.
SNSD on, I won't have any freaking clue that it's Girls' Generation. But I will know exactly that it's an SM group just by how it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
there
like,
reminds me of like this one person did a video and they're like saying like, oh, SM songs sound like this, JYP
Yeah.
song sounds like this, and I was like, wow, that's way true. Like, listen to that.
We did, cause we're newish, and so there was a bunch of bands here, idols here, that we didn't know, so we spent like 3 nights on the couch watching YouTube.
I call it KCON cram.
Right, exactly. I'm glad it's not just us. We're not crazy.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have an artist engagement
I cried
with
for one
somebody,
us,
I
I'm
wanna
so
make
sad.
sure I know who they are.
Right, and so I found it interesting that these were groups we've never heard of before, some of them like One Us and New Est and, you know, and so, but it was interesting going through all the idols, how everything was really well done, but it just didn't hit me in my gut. Like, I don't love New Est, sorry. I mean, it's well done, everything's great, but boy, 86, those guys, oh my gosh, it's like I see like the first couple notes of N Fly, and I was like, yes. But, you know, I'm just like, it's sitting there.
But yeah, you have connections to different people, and different people have connections to different, right? And
Yeah,
that just
so
makes
how
sense
can you
or
be
whatever.
upset at somebody for loving BTS, which I do not. But I mean, I like the music when I hear it, but I don't like, anyway. But then, how, like, I don't understand, it's your gut that's telling you whether or not you like it. It's
it's
not.
the same with what she was going through. It's the music thing. You may not like the music, but doesn't mean it's bad.
Mhm.
Just like, I will listen to BTS. Do I want to listen to it all the time? Not really. But I absolutely love some of my groups, like G4K or My Name, which I will talk about tomorrow. But I will listen to them all day, every day.
Or ATs all day.
But that's the groups that I really, really like. It doesn't mean that BTS is wrong.
Talking about the fan wars, like if people have time for that, that's fine, and if that's what you want to get into and spend your K-pop time fighting a fan war, have at it. I just have to ignore it because I don't have the time for that or the energy.
There's too many other
Like
things to
my
do.
biggest struggle in K-pop is time. Like
So I was gonna ask, it seems like that's what we talked about, is balancing your real adult life with your fandom life. How do we do that?
Or even for the kids, their real school life.
Their real
I mean,
school
like my
lives,
kids,
exactly.
and like, cause K-pop, I mean, maybe, I don't think it's just me, but I'm addicted to it. Like it's like a big joy in my life, and I obsess on it, and I wanna spend a ton of time with it, and thankfully my husband's into it, my kids are into it, but even my husband's like, can we watch a movie tonight? Like, not YouTube? Do we
You're like, yes, it's a Korean one.
It's one of those things, and so I have no time for fan wars, I have no time for negativity. If I'm going to cut out more time in my life, I'm gonna stand a new group, or I'm gonna, you know, maybe stream a song I want to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just
Look up
gonna
silly
put my time to that.
videos. K-pop on crack.
Exactly.
It's so true. Good point.
After KCON last year, I was obsessed with Intuit and NPOs especially. And so my first 2 hours in the morning were just on Twitter and Instagram seeing anything that NPO had done. And then when I ran out of stuff of his, I went and saw the other one. You know, it was just like, it was very difficult to time my day. So luckily I work at 1, so I had the morning to be able to just like do 2-3 hours of Intuit.
That's what I was gonna ask, do you guys like set goals, like I can only do this for so long, and then I have to do these other things?
Yeah.
Or I can only spend this much money to this time at KCON? Or like, do you set goals and try to stick to it?
This is our first trip around.
Well, it's first day.
I have an allowance.
Or like concert goals, I mean, some of us get to go to concerts and things, so I don't know, there's probably a lot of people.
My concert goal is to find Jung Up and show him the cosplay, because I actually cosplayed Warrior. I did like the full jacket, studded and everything. I was gonna bring it because I knew he was announced for New York. I was hoping that he would be announced officially for LA. He wasn't, so I left it at home. Then of course June posted on his thing that he was picking him up at his airport, and I was like, so my goal was to literally find him and just show him. That's all I want to do. I just want to show him my hard work.
I just have to look for that bucket hat and.
Bucket hat, silver hair. I'll just find June. I'll be like, June,
Yeah.
can you show him this? I don't even, like, just show him, please. I'll find June. He's easy. That's my only goal.
I always say I can go to maybe, 3 concerts a year. I know there's people who are able to go to way more than that, but I have to travel, so you have to add all the other expenses.
Yeah.
If I could take those expenses and put them into just concert, I could do way more than that, but, yeah.
Yeah, luckily NCT was in Phoenix, so for us it's an hour and a half up. It was so nice, but Twice was here.
Twice was in LA and we
came. We would have gone to Blackpink too, but.
Tickets to these concerts.
Oh, the stress
Oh,
of
that's
the tickets.
crazy.
Oh my
That's
god.
when, especially as it gets bigger, you're like,
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
no, I totally get that. Last year I went to, I saw the Rose randomly because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in LA at the same time that they were there, and like they're a really like small band.
Yeah.
And I pretty much like every song that they've ever made, which is like all 9.
Same.
Like
Talk
all
about those
9
again
songs that they
tomorrow.
have. But last year it was a very stressful ticket buying situation because it's like I bought Monsta's tickets because I was like I'm gonna go see them, and then it was like got 7 tickets were going on sale 3 weeks later, and then it was like BTS tickets were announced like 2 days before got 7 tickets went out, and I was like rob Peter to pay Paul so that I can like buy these tickets, and like got 7. I was lucky because I was coming to Anime Expo and it was like that Saturday that I was already here, and then but it's like I had to like cut myself off because I wanted to see Day6 and I wanted to see like Red Velvet when they were here at the beginning of the year, and like I wanted to see Twice too because it's like I want to see like my top 10 favorite groups in concert at least once.
Yeah.
And the girl groups are a little easier to see because if you like miss a boy group, it's like they're gonna get older, they're gonna go to the military, and then you're like never see them in concert. But no, I totally get that. Like sometimes it's travel. Like I'm conveniently live 2.5 hours from LA in San Diego,
See, I would
so
die.
it's like
that close. I'd be here like. every
yeah.
weekend.
Where do you live?
Utah.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
was just
We were there for 4 years, right?
So it's a 10-hour drive or a $200 plane trip.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We're looking
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
old.
I fly
That's
from
not too bad.
Kentucky to get to Santa Barbara, and it's usually closer to 500. So.
Yeah.
maybe I guess it's
$200
'cause-
plane trip.
I
I
should-
come twice a month.
I should be happy for that, huh?
Maybe it's
Should be
because I'm
so
from
happy for
Vegas,
that.
and Vegas has a lot of coming in and out. A round trip for Vegas to LA just this past weekend was $18 round trip.
That's so crazy.
I think it's just because there's so many planes going in, because it's Vegas, it's Sin City, you have so many tourists going through.
Oh, I just went to Vegas, and I went to a K-pop store because I was like,
Oh, Kpop USA!
Yes, and I was gonna go by myself, but my sisters wanted to come for some reason, and I was like, oh, I guess you could come. And it was just like an adults trip. They didn't bring their kids, and I only was able to go because my sister's husband didn't go. And they're like, she's like, I don't want to be alone, and I was like, whatever. And we went, and I was fangirling so hard. She's like, we came because this is an adults trip, and you're acting like a child.
Oh.
And I was like,
That store is actually
Yeah.
really nicely set up. Like the, Kpop USA has actually very similar pricing to Choice Music, because that's the reason why I first went. I was really curious about pricing, because anytime I go out of town from LA in general, the pricing hikes hard. Because even in Miami, for one album it was like $25-$30, like a small album. But they were on par with Choice, and the way they had it set up is they had like girl group, boy group, and then like the other half of the store is all BTS. But like, like no, it's literally like there's a wall,
yeah.
and then on that other side of the wall, all BTS. It's by number.
Yeah.
Like it is hardcore. But like you get like anything from like fan merch to like official merch, and I was like, but I was like really shocked with how well put together, because I'm thinking, K-pop store in Vegas, it's right down the street from my work, it's in the middle of downtown, near the strip, so I'm like, but it was booming.
Wow.
I was surprised.
My K-pop store is like a mile from my house. I lucked out big time. It's in an H Mart too.
See, like that's like a bad thing though too, because
Yeah, it is a
like
bad
now then you like every new release, okay, I gotta go. Every new release, gotta go. Oh, here's another release.
The prices are pretty reasonable. It's a very small store, but it's still in there.
Where are you from?
Austin. Yeah, it's surprising that we have one. It really is.
K-pop store in San Diego is in an Asian market too.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, I was like, it's the same. I'm not from Atlanta, but where I go to concerts stuff, if they're in Atlanta, that's driving distance. Traffic sucks, but
Gotta go.
gotta go.
We have like 10 minutes. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you guys were hoping we would get to?
So, one of my struggles is loving K-pop like I do, and then reconciling that with hearing some of the downside, right? What the idols go through.
Like the industry stuff,
Yeah,
the
the
behind the
industry
scenes
stuff.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
really
Especially
struggle with
lately.
how to balance that for myself. Like all I want as a K-pop fan, and this is true of most K-pop fans, I think we want the idols to be happy. We want them to express what they express to us and make us happy. We want them to get some reciprocation, of what they've given us. And I know that there's industry problems. Things are getting better, I know, but I don't know how to support and how to help and how to deal with that for me.
So what you can do for that one is, let's just use Momoland for example. I don't like, what's a member of a Momoland? Sorry, I don't know.
Nancy.
Okay, well just use Nancy.
Hi,
So if, say you see Nancy's down, if you can find the fan moderator, because they usually have a Twitter, so it's gonna have to like activate your Twitter a bit. Find them on Twitter, see if you can get in contact with the moderator, because that's the person who goes to like everything that Nancy goes to. Like, they're not yet at that saucing level, but some of them can be very, very saucing, but they also have access to like anything that the Momoland's going to, or they're able to do like projects and stuff. So if you say, hey, I noticed that Nancy's very down in the dumps lately, is there a fan project going on that we can help raise her spirits? And sometimes it's just a hashtag on Twitter, is just getting a bunch of people together at a certain time, and it's just getting it trending. And then Nancy will hopefully see it and then help raise her spirits. Or it's getting in contact with that moderator who typically lives in Korea and saying, hey, is there a way that we can do like a fan project where it's like flowers or some candy or some like cake or something. You help raise money for that, hand it over to the moderator, have the moderator deliver it to the next like fan engagement or something, and that'll also help raise it, because I see a lot of that happening. Like there was that time where V was getting a bunch of crap for his face or something like that. It was like a really like downer moment, and so everyone was like, it was like the elephant thing where if you had like the two moles, everyone did that and it like helped raise his spirits up quite a bit, because like everyone did it. Even like people who weren't even fans of that, they like, if they're part of the K-pop fan in general and they see, oh, someone's really, really down, let's help support that. So they'll be like, okay, let's get involved. So if you can get, like you see someone who's down, you don't even have to be a fan of it, just, it would be amazing help, just help us get it done. Oh, that's our 5-minute mark. Just like, but it, again, you'll have to get more active on Twitter, because that's basically where all your moderators are going to be, because they have direct access. And I know I used to work for the, I used to work for the 2-for-K one, and I got kicked out. And I'll explain that one tomorrow too. But we were able to raise money for, like, in honor of 2-for-K, like, or in the name of 2-for-K, we were able to donate to the big earthquake that happened in Mexico that like, wiped out a good chunk of Mexico City. So we were able to raise money and donate for that, and a lot of fans came together for that. I know recently, NCT fans for Haechan did a whole, they named one of the animals after Haechan. Haechan actually went to visit, and he had a blast apparently, so it's like you had just got to get people involved into it, and it'll help.
Anything else that you guys want to share?
I feel like age is like the biggest thing that it's like.
Yes, okay, so we asked this question on Twitter a week or so ago. I said, what is the biggest struggle? And most people said, I get made fun of because I'm an older side. Since I'm older, I follow a lot of older people. And so that's what the biggest comment was that they get made fun of because they're older and they like it.
But you just have to find your tribe on Twitter.
Right,
Yeah.
so obviously I must be narrowing that down to older people. I don't know. I don't know,
I
because that's
feel
what was a big
that,
comment. What's that?
I feel that because I am 47 years old, but at the same time, I'm surrounded by people who don't care.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
that's the
I
other
feel
thing.
it here, you know, I'm definitely of the older ilk when I come to KCON, when I go to the Twice concert, but I kind of don't care. I'm too old to care.
And usually the people that are there,
People around
they
me.
don't care.
They don't
either,
care.
right?
Yeah.
You
They
can
don't
have
care.
your young friend,
I
your young
see it.
fan friends.
I see it on Twitter. People get made fun of for being older, but my experience in person.
My ancient one back there.
I've never had anybody like not go, oh, how cool a mom is here. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like that. Usually I have a bunch of kids asking me, you like K-pop too? You know, like they're happy about it.
Or they're asking where your kid is and you don't have it.
2014, they had that Mnet thing where they brought like a few people to like do the whole like tour with KCON. It was 2013, I think it was. But one of them was an older gentleman, like 50, had kids, this and that and the other, and like I was absolutely for it. I was like, he looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah, it's like, I don't understand why people would bother you for doing something that keeps you young, you know what I mean? Like, and it makes you feel young at heart or whatever the word is, but it's like, why not? Like, what's the big deal? I don't understand.
It's hard, especially on Twitter, when you see people and they're like, comment your age, and they're
I
like,
know.
oh, 6 line, and I'm like, how?
How
do you
I
have
have
to?
to-
You
That's
be
another
on
time where I-
live page. Like this is it's like it's like when you see those things like things that remind you of your childhood. I'm like MySpace. It's like Facebook. What? You like lie up at your age to have that, and like that's what I feel like. It's like the thing. It's like, but I'm like, I have a job, and I'm the one that's like actually buying merch. I'm like the one that's here buying tickets. I'm like, what real 14-year-old or 15-year-old is like other than like begging, pleading, and like.
Yeah, I
your
have money to
parents.
support.
Yeah, like,
y'all
I have
are
money
trying
to
to beg
support
for
like
it.
my like fandom life versus like it's like yeah on the internet it's like you can support like as a young person. I'm not saying like what their support is any less, but it's like it's I was like people who are older are the ones buying merch. Like when I was like yeah when I was like 13, when I was like 10 and like in love with NSYNC, like I didn't have the money to buy their CDs. I had to like ask my mom like, for my birthday, can I have this? Or like things like that. It's like now it's like I'll just like I'll just spend the money how I want. I go to work, I will buy this when I want to buy it or whatever. And
As long as you pay your bills and your rent, who cares what you do with the rest of
I
your
know,
money?
that's why it's like, but then it's like you're 30 and you like K-pop, like it's like
Yeah.
it's not that bad. Like
And so
I'm like
30
most
is
artists
like
that I
my-
like are like in their late 20s or in their 30s already. So it's like
Alright, do you
So-
have to wrap it up?
Hopefully you guys, what, so say, what do you wanna say?
Well, like, with, I don't know, being judged from, like, people outside of K-pop fandom about, like, your age or cultural appropriation, like cosplay or whatever, like, I have a lot of Korean friends from Korea, and, like, I lived in Korea for 4 months, and Korean people think it's awesome that foreigners love it. Like, they don't care if how crazy you are into it, or like how old you are, or if you dress up like them, or what. Yeah, I don't know. They just think it's awesome, and like I don't know. I think that's.
If you're having fun with it, don't let anyone get it down.
Anyway, so hopefully you leave here feeling positive and like are armed with ways to combat whatever struggles you're having, so. And I was just gonna say, Twitter's a scary place, but we try to keep it really positive on our if any of you are not following us yet, then come find us. We're just Kpop Converters without the and with a K. K with Converters with a K.
Mhm.
So find us there. We try to keep it really fun and positive on our Twitter, and like you said, ignore all the other stuff. So.
And like our struggle or no, the underrated K-pop groups, I will definitely go into like how to support them, and it'll go into like.
And so if you can
I'll
come.
go hardcore.
Join us back here at 4:30 tomorrow, and thanks for coming.
Thank you. Ancient one.
What?
What's your panel right now?
Don't you have infline?
I got AT's High Touch. What up?
Did you really?
Yeah.
How much?
Great.
Okay, but you gotta.
You didn't tell me.
Okay, but you gotta let Terrarium Boy know.